Tina, good to see you. What have you learned in meetings with the kids that have aged out of CFS?
Well, I've certainly learned that they've had an incredible amount of challenges throughout their life. At such a young age, they've overcome many obstacles. First of all, being taken away from their families and friends that they know of. Many of them actually going to many different foster homes and trying to form a connection with those foster parents and then being uprooted and taken to another home. So they've been through an awful lot, and it's been a real pleasure to meet many of them that have been so brave enough to share their story with me.
Have you noticed the trend at all with what you've learned with some of the youth you've met?
You know, actually I have. Oftentimes during the interview, while I'm meeting with the kids, you know, we'll start to talk about their lives and certainly the lives of their parents and their grandparents. And what I'm actually finding is that residential school has an awful lot to do with many of the cases that I've uncovered. In one of the cases, one of the youth told me that her grandmother was in residential school. Her mother was then put into foster care. She was put into foster care, and then now her daughter's in foster care. So I'm finding a real trend with a direct link between residential school and the traumas that many people suffered there, and then now that's filtering through to the broken families that we're seeing in the child and welfare system. The other thing that I'm noticing as well is after these kids age out, I would say about 3 out of the 6 that I've met so far, these kids end up going back home to the parents that they were originally taken away from. So it's very interesting how that's happening.
Tina, what's happening on the front lines that are helping some of these youth?
Well, I've met some incredible people, certainly working very hard on the front lines to help these kids. One organization that comes to mind is Luma Native Housing. Not only are they offering a safe haven for these kids and offering them studio apartments and that sort of thing, but also social programs. Everything from employment to life skills training to mentorship training, everything you can think of. In fact, Mondays and Wednesday nights they offer a dinner as well as training opportunities for these kids to come, and then they offer them, you know, bus passes or gift certificates for grocery stores, that kind of thing. There's also others that are working hard in the front lines, including a group called agedout.com. They have a website for kids that they can log on to this website and literally get all the information that they need to become a young adult. So learning how to apply for their identification, you know, learning about other peer groups that can support them. There's a lot of people that are really working hard on the front lines, and it's just been an amazing opportunity to see that happening.
And Tina, you've got a second part of your series on kids that have aged out. What can we expect from that?
Well, we're going to be talking about a very tragic case of a young lady who aged out of the system. Exactly 7 months after she aged out of the system, she was found dead in a tent alongside a busy highway in Surrey, BC. And I meet with her sister and try to get the root of the situation for their family and what happened, and, you know, certainly some of the cracks that she fell through, including in the social services area as well as the community area. So I think that we're going to be really highlighting the tragic case of that young lady that lost her life, and hopefully shedding some light on what can be done differently to help kids from suffering that same fate.
Well, Tina, it's some important work. We look forward to part 2 and appreciate you taking some time to speak with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.